So this week, what we're going to be going through are Meta and the four verticals there that it comprises. Okay, so a vertical is like a subsidiary. So let's say, for example, with all of those big companies, they usually have some branches to them. Subsidiaries, verticals. Verticals is what they're called in the IT space. We're going to cover the four verticals from Meta. We're going to cover the four verticals from Google. I know we're not touching on the Google part of the course yet, but it's very important to have them in your rear view mirror. So imagine then this is you at the top, or these could be your initials even. And then what we're doing is we're going through Meta, number one, and then Google, number two. Now, as we said there before, if we have time at the very end, what we will do is we will also touch on Pinterest. We will also touch on X or Twitter, as it was formerly known. We might even touch on LinkedIn, and we might even touch on TikTok if you're a tickety talker. We have to work out how much this accounts for. Now, in terms of the full stack online media buying space, Meta comprises 50%. But what you will see is that 50% is normally done through agencies or private buyers. So you might not see a lot of those ads there, but believe you me, you will use the repositories, the libraries that all of this is based on, because it just provides such fantastic data. Google will account for 30% of the online media buying space. Still very important, huge player, but second in comparison to Meta. But whenever we conquer these two, then if we think about it for a second, we've got 80% of the full stack media buying market covered. And as we said there last week, in last week's lesson, there, if you have got the four certifications from Meta and the four certifications from Google, then together that's 8 out of 10. Can you imagine when somebody there, for example, in the first instance, this AI bot scans, skims, scrolls your CV and puts it into the acceptance pile, the shortlist. And then whenever the hiring manager comes along to interview you and sees, oh, wow, you've got 8 out of the 10 or 12 things on the that's to be covered. And in terms of their ad, you're almost like 100% match fit. So let's go through them then very quickly. We've got Facebook. In terms of the Meta platform, there are the four main verticals. Now, what are they? And what are they in terms of the size that they generate for Meta? So number one is, of course, Facebook. And then for Google, what are the four verticals from Google? So for example, there we've got Google search, of course, number one, the king of search. But what's the queen? And what's the ones that come after it? So let's go through them then very quickly. With Meta, we've got, of course, in number two position, we've got Instagram. Wow, which generates for them an incredible amount of revenue. Then we've got Facebook, WhatsApp, but there's also a fourth one there, which some people tend to neglect sometimes, and that is the Facebook Messenger. Now, what you will see in terms of their Joe's ads is that he doesn't prefer the video-based messaging network. And I think that's very strategic. And we have to put that into the back of our minds. Is this to be used? Is this not? Because at the moment, here in November 2024, Apple have just announced there that they might be changing their Apple messaging to Facebook messaging. Now, this is a very recent announcement. But if you can imagine then, this is going to change the way that we play. Because with this integration of Facebook, Meta, and their messaging technology, and Apple, then this is going to truly change the way that we think. Because if you can imagine how widely Facebook messaging can be used, and then if we're getting these inside the iPhones and the iPads, can you imagine what's going to happen? Wow, this is going to sensationalize the world of online media buying. So please keep that in your rear view mirror. It might not be something there that was used earlier on in 2024, but as we approach 2025, Facebook Messenger, believe you me, will become, wow, so well used. It might even surpass Instagram. It won't surpass Facebook because Facebook has definitely got the most hold in terms of the online media buying space, but it might get into the number two position. Okay, currently it's at number 4, but it's quickly going to somersault that and leapfrog the positions because of the announcement there by Apple that they're strongly considering using the Facebook messaging platform for their iMessages. So in other words, iMessages will be phased out now, and as it should be because it was a pain in the bottom. And there's one URL address that we need to remember, and this is quite simply FB. It's the shorthand for Facebook, fb.com/ads/library. And please, please, please write this down, because whenever you come to do your competitor analysis, whenever you come to look at these ads for these avatars that we have chosen, you have to use this URL. And this URL should be done as a bookmark into your browser, into your Chrome browser. Remember, for the purposes of this course, I recommend that you use Google Chrome, a Google Chrome instance. And you can even set yourself up with just a free Gmail account, because we're going to be working inside the Googleplex and inside the metaverse. So in other words, the metaverse is what belongs to Meta Ads Ireland, and then the Googleplex is what belongs to Google Ads Ireland. This is what we're going to do. So fb.com/ads/library. Very, very, very useful URL to remember. And remember, whenever we do go to facebook.com/ads/library, then we have to look and we have to see the ads. They have to say sponsored. If they don't say sponsored, then it means it's not a paid ad. And if it's not a paid ad, then we have to think to ourselves, okay, hold on a second, we're perhaps in the wrong place. And we're perhaps looking at Facebook posts, Instagram reels, Instagram stories. We might be looking at something there that has not paid for reach. What we're trying to do is we're trying to examine these markets, and we're trying to look at the people out there who are trying to pay for reach. Plus bonus points if you can remember this one. Very, very, very handy as well. business.facebook.com/ads manager. This is what we're going to be creating. And you see there, Joe is trying to walk you through the process of creating a business account. This is one that will store all of the ads that we're going to be using just for testing. We're not going to be launching or publishing these ones. You do have to sign up with a credit card, but as long as you don't press publish, and you have to press it 3 times, so it's quite safe. As long as you don't press publish, then you will not be billed a penny. So what we're doing is we're building what they call a virtual sandbox, a sandpit, where you can play in, you can test, you can experiment, you can do all of these things. We can clone the ads, we can duplicate them, all these things that we're going to learn. But the 2 things that you have to remember inside the metaverse, fb.com/ads/library, as shown on your screen, and business.facebook.com/ads manager. Take a little notebook and use it only for the purposes of this course and write down those 2 URLs. Those are the 2 URLs that you have to remember. And whenever you're doing your competitor analysis, please go to the ads library at the URL shown on your screen right now. Now, we're just going to touch on this briefly. I know we're not going to do Google yet, but it's important to have this in your rear view mirror so that whenever we come to do the Googleplex, then you will be very okay with the terms, because it's important to remember their similarities. Remember, they both came to Dublin, Ireland, to build their advertising platforms within about 4 years of one another, almost to the day. Very, very strategic. And the way that they built themselves out was also very, very, very strategic. Google is the king of search, undisputed king of search. So the number 1, the king of search on the internet. But the number 2, queen of search almost, is of course YouTube. And then after YouTube, what have we got? We've got Google Maps. Google Maps, highly, widely used all over this planet, but in particular, especially within those foreign demographics. For example, even in the US, there, if you look at, for example, all of the Hispanic communities, the Polish communities, the Russian communities, there are all of the foreign-based language communities. They have a huge influence on the Google Maps. Okay, and the Google Maps is what helps them to cement their position. For example, if they're a translator, if they're a certified translator, if they're an interpreter, if they're a dentist that speaks Spanish, for example, in the state of Texas, da 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 da, all of a sudden it becomes different, and then Google Maps will promote them to the top. So very, very important to keep that in the back of your mind. Now, the fourth one is one that you're perhaps not too familiar with, and that's Spotify, the freemium edition. Now, what do I mean when I say freemium edition? This is the free edition of Spotify. This is what they call in the industry a freemium edition, not a premium edition. The premium is where you pay a subscription every month and then you don't get the ads. But the freemium edition is the one where it does have the ads. And what it does is it works in conjunction with Google Maps to work out your location, the city that you're in the country that you're in. And then it will, on your recent browsing history, it will make some suggestions if you have signed into the Spotify, the freemium edition, the free edition, with your Google account, which a lot of people will do. And then it will start to show you adverts. For example, if you're based in Vancouver, Canada, if you're based in Los Angeles in California, if you're based in New York City, in New York State, then this is what's going to happen. Approximately, once again, two URLs that you need to remember. The first one, unless you've been living under a rock for the last 17 years, YouTube. And they purchased it for quite an unbelievable sum of money in November 2007. I'm sure each and every one of you knows youtube.com because my daughter knows youtube.com and YouTube kids.com for the small children since she was old enough to speak. So she's been using it since about the age of 2, and she's now 9. So if you can imagine, everybody on this planet knows youtube.com. Of course they do. The second one is very important also, and we'll come to this and we'll explain this in more detail when we go through the Googleplex. This is the trends.google.com, and then we can see all of the things that are trending, that are hot right now. And this is very, very important when you come to do a competitor analysis on the Googleplex. For example, you get a role as a full stack media buyer, and your employer would like you to concentrate on the Google ads, the Google analytics, all of those sorts of things. Don't worry, we'll become all very, very familiar with these technologies and these terms that they use as we go on, as we progress through this course, okay? Because as you'll see there, Joe is sort of bombarding you with quite a lot of technical terms, but he's walking you through it at a very, very, very nice pace. So watch each one of his lessons 2, 3, 4 times so that you're very, very familiar with what he's doing, what he's attempting to do, because it's very, very strategic. And I like the way that he's laid it out. So we've got 8 avatars to choose from for our course, and those are chiropractors, vets, business coaches, doctors, IT owners, CDL mentors, realtors, and dentists. So you can choose one main avatar for our competitor analysis and one sub avatar. What we've decided there for the moment is that Matthew could choose chiropractors, Patrick can choose vets, I will take business coaches. Some of the other people there are Kevin, Adam, Akila, there you can take the ones there that you want. And we can see then how this progresses, because then what we're doing is we're looking at some of these niche focused avatars. Now remember, the URL that we have to remember is facebook.com/ads/library. So remember, the shorthand for Facebook is fb.com/ads/library. So the URL that we have just entered in, remember, this is one of the ones that you have to remember, that you must remember. And that's why I'm saying note it down, write it down, remember this one, because this is where we have to go to do the competitor analysis, not to somewhere else. So we go in here, and the first things there that we have to do are that we have to set it, because I'm currently based in the country of Poland. I'm not from Poland, as perhaps you can tell from my accent. But then all is what we have to set it to. The second box where it says add category, you have to select this. And then if your issues are with elections or politics, for example, you want to post about Donald Trump or Joe Biden or whoever lights your fire, then you would choose this one. But if it's everything else, then you have to choose all ads. Now, then, this is where we're going into the big things. And then this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to look at these people who are focused within our niche. So whatever niche that you selected from your avatar, veterinarians, always type the full name rather than vets, because then that can be associated with military veterans as well. And then if it's for business coaches, do business coaching. And then if it's for chiropractors, do chiropractors. If it's for doctors, do doctors. Okay. And then what you'll see then is whenever you type in chiropractors or you select it from the drop-down box, then you will see all of these ones here. Now, don't worry about these blue buttons. We'll go through this in future lessons. This is where we add these little browser extensions to our Chrome browser. Remember, we're doing this all inside Chrome browser. So set yourselves up with a separate account, okay? And you can also set yourselves up with a separate account for Facebook. Because remember, I've spoken about this before, that we can get into something called Facebook prison, Facebook jail. And believe you me, it is very, very, very difficult to get out of. Just sometimes if you do something accidental. Yeah. If you do something accidental, you accidentally put in a wrong URL or whatever. Remember, this is an AI bot that is examining this. It's not real life human beings. So sometimes there you can just be banned just for anything. So it's always a good idea, especially for the purposes of this course, and several of you have mentioned this, to create a separate Facebook account. And then this is what you'll be doing this for. So create a separate Gmail account, because remember, we're doing all of this through Google and Meta. So go through it, create a separate Gmail account, and then log into Facebook from this. Create a Facebook account for this. Now, at the beginning, you might not have a business manager. Okay. So the business manager is one where you get to from the businessmanager.facebook.com, okay, /ads manager. If I show you this here shorter, I'm just trying to get this screen. This Zoom bar is really annoying me. It just takes everything. Business.facebook.com, right? And then we go here to ads manager. Okay. And then there you'll see the ads manager that it launches, da 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 da. Okay. Very, very important. So if you go through Zhao's videos there, you will see how to set up the Facebook Business Manager. But as far as Meta is concerned, these are the two that you have to remember. Now, the step there that we do to take it further is we set up three filters. So please bear in mind this. So filter number one, we click on the filter button up here in the top right-hand corner, and then we choose all languages. We set it to be English. We set it to be active ads or inactive ads. It used to be there that it used to default to active and inactive there, but I like to choose active ads. So it's probably only two filters. And then the third filter that I like to do is I like to make the date more recent, because May 2018 is 6 years ago, and that will take quite a lot of time to get back to. Okay. You'll see why, because we have to scroll down and down and down and down and down. And you might think that the scroll bar is only the length of your screen. No, no, no. What happens is you go down a lot and then it jumps all the way back up almost to the top. So believe me, there are millions and millions and millions and millions of ads. So I always put it, let's say, to last year. So I changed the last two digits from 18, which is the Facebook default. I don't know why, but it is all the way to 2023. Okay. And then I select enter, select my date. There you go, 8th. Right. So we're looking for impressions. This is what Facebook call the impressions, the number of clicks that have happened on that ad. Okay. And then we select the button, apply 3 filters. Now we can do one more filter, and that is there that we can bring this up to, let's say, a few months ago. Okay. Now, why do we do this? Well, the chances are that if somebody has been advertising Remember, we've chosen active ads. So we're looking for ads that are still on. And let's say if we go back 3 months ago to the 25th of August, right? So we're now in the 25th of November. So if we go back 3 months, then you can imagine what's going to happen. We're going to start to see ads that have been published for at least 3 months. So you can imagine if you've got an ad budget there for what, $20, and then you've got the maximum, which is 6 ads per ad set. So let's say you've got 6 ads, that's $120. And then you've got maybe 5 ad sets, that's $600 per day. $600 per day multiplied, let's say, by 90, 100 days, that's $60,000. That is a chunk of change. So you can bet your bottom dollar that if somebody is out there paying $60,000, that they are getting results. Okay. So you see some of them here. For example, this person second over from the left is running the ad on Facebook, on Instagram, and on Facebook Messenger, and on the audience network, the one there that Joe always tells us not to advertise on. But anyway, there are some of them are advertising on Facebook and on Instagram. There are the platforms. Okay. You'll see some of them also, they're on WhatsApp, and some of them that they are on Messenger as well. This one here is on Messenger, the second one. They're using Facebook Messenger. Now, what you do then is you scroll down, and you'll see that the date is getting further and further and further away. So let's see, we'll scroll down a bit. That's the 19th of August. That's the 16th of August. That's the 15th of August. They're my birthday, very good day to remember. And then this is what we've got. So now look at this one. We're looking at things, we're looking for similarities. Life Force Chiro with Dr. Robin. Life Force Chiro with Dr. Robin. Life Force Chiro with Dr. Robin. Okay? So we're doing something amazing to celebrate reaching 50 5-star Google reviews. Remember, these people are advertising on Facebook. They're advertising on Facebook, but they're talking about the Google review platform. Another very, very important one. But if you can imagine, look at this. There, you see what's special about this? They're running one with a new pacing special, only $47. And then they're going through this. So this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for people or for companies that are running 2 or more ads. So if you can see these people here, Life Force Chiro, very good. So what I would do is I would put them into my file. So there, always have like a swipe file, Facebook swipe file, and then what? There we go. Okay, that was Command V if you're on a Mac, or Control V if you're on a PC. There's just copy and paste. So what we're doing is just making a screenshot of this and then putting it in there. So this is like one ad. And what I want you to do is I want you to find 5 ads, 5 competitor ads. They've got more than one ad representation from that company. So let's go back then and let's try to find another one. Core Health Wellness Centers. I've seen some of those ads before. Core Health Wellness Sectors. They're very memorable. And you see this? There are 3 of these people. And then there are 3 of the people from the Thrive Health Systems chiropractors. Okay? Take this one. Now, as Joe would say in his analysis, look at the types of ads. There, what you'll do is you'll get used to the terminology. And if you look over here, there on the right-hand side in Thrive Health Systems, you see 3 vertical videos. So in other words, videos that have been shot from a smartphone. Because remember, what's going to be the medium, in other words, the device that most of these people are going to be consuming these ads on? They're going to be on their tubes, their subways, their metros, their darts on the way home, whatever, and then they're going to be looking at those things. So the probability is they're going to be looking at them on their mobile devices. In other words, their smartphones. So these people have obviously got this dialed in, and they're focused on these vertical ads, vertical video ads, because note that they've got a big video circle in the middle. So whenever you get that little big player sign, that means that it's a video. And you can even play it inside the Facebook ads library. Nice short videos. You see that? 1 minute, 5 seconds. And then they're running this in multiple places. They're with different headlines. For example, here, if you look, new special, $47 exam, adjustment and massage. This one is the same, but this one here has got a full exam, adjustment, and a 60-minute massage. You see? And it's all bringing you back to the same landing page. So there, this one is using one type of copy, and this one here is using something similar. So this one is obviously working really, really, really well. So anyway, let's take those two and yep. So now we've got the three from the core. So that's our second set of ads. Now then, let's take this one from Dr. Eric. Also like to get in the platforms that they're running it on. Okay, so they're running it also on the audience network, but they're mainly running it on Facebook, Instagram, and Facebook Messenger. Really, really excellent advice. But remember, this is where you have to go for your competitor analysis. So it's really, really useful to look at these ones here. But you see the way that they all say sponsored. Thrive Health Systems, chiropractors of East Colorado Springs. Underneath it, it says sponsored, because otherwise it's a post. And again, up here, Core Health Centers, chiropractic and wellness, sponsored. Again at the top, yeah, it's the same ad. And then up here, Life Force Hero with Dr. Robin. And again, sponsored. So you're looking for the word sponsored, because if you don't see the word sponsored, then you're looking at a post. And quite often they're trying to make these posts look like ads, which is very confusing. So there's more from Thrive, and there are ads that have run from the 7th of August. So obviously this is working really, really well for these people. And this one here, Tristan Bond, okay, he's got two. There's the Thrive Wellness Center, and then you see there you can get some information from them. This one here is nice. I like the ones there that use inside part of the vertical video. They've got those banners at the top. Chiropractors, how profitable are your ads? Yep. Well, these are people that do the marketing to chiropractors. Okay, just like myself. Right? So always very interesting and very, but there we've got one example, two examples, one, two, three. So now all we have to do is find the fifth one. Again, we go back to our facebook.com/ads/library. Remember, very, very, very important URL. Doesn't matter who you're doing the media buying for. This will become your Bible, your Wikipedia, or whatever for ads, because they've got basically every ad that started running on their platform since 2008. If you go back as far as that, it takes a long, long time to load, but you can go back and then you can see. Don't think there's any ads still active from 2008, but you can actually go back and see the inactive ads. In other words, the things that perhaps worked out or didn't work out. Because we don't know how much these people have spent on these things, but if you can imagine that there's a minimum recommended amount there of like about $5 to $20 there per day, sometimes even 25. But if we look here then, so these people are using the horizontal type video. So this is the 16:9 format. Okay, this is the format there that's approved by YouTube, by Instagram, by Facebook, by most of those main players in the video market. Well, let's take these ones here because I like these types of ads. You get much more inside your screen, and then you can rotate your smartphone to look at it in better with a better viewing angle. Yeah? And then look at the terminology that they're using there. Very, very interesting. So we've now done our competitor analysis. Well, I've done it there for chiropractors. So I suppose then that all of the people on this course, you could choose something else. And then rather than just having a bombardment of chiropractors, this is stuff for us old people, Patrick. And then what you can do is you can have a look at some of the other ones and then have an idea what is working really, really well. So remember, then what we've just done, what we've just looked at is facebook.com/ads/library. I cannot stress enough times how important it is that all of you, each and every single person on this course, that they remember that URL and that it becomes ingrained into your brain. Add it as a bookmark, add it on your phone, your smartphone, and pick one main avatar and one sub-avatar. So those are the list of choices there that we've got. So for example, I've just done chiropractor, so perhaps then you can choose something else, but have a look at it, because the more familiar that you become with your niche or your niche, depending on where you are in the world, but the more familiar that you become with this, then this will become like second nature. So get to know your avatar. So today, what we've just gone through are meta and the four main verticals. I know they talk about, and you see the audience network inside there, but believe you me, if you listen to the lessons with Joe, he also touches on it, that the audience network, in his experience, and he's been a media buyer for many, many, many a year, the audience network doesn't really work that well, and they could be losing quite a lot of money, because the audience network just basically puts it on lots of other web pages, and anybody that comes to it from a browser, most people don't. Most people come to Facebook through the app. So it's really only the media buyers themselves that would see Facebook through the URL perspective. In other words, going to the browser and doing this. 90% of people will see it through the app. So that's sort of like falling on deaf ears quite a lot of the time, the audience network. So concentrate on the four main verticals that we used. So that's Facebook, of course, Instagram, WhatsApp, and Facebook Messenger. Those are the four main popular verticals. And please keep in the back of your mind that Apple have made a serious decision there to include, to replace their iMessaging with Facebook Messenger. So this is going to happen in 2025. So this is something there that is going to really change the way that media buying positions are bought, because you'll see a lot of people there, and I can imagine that a lot of people, as they become more aware of this, they're going to do much more buying in Facebook and Instagram, but they're very, very quickly, Messenger is going to become much more popular. And remember, audience network, not really useful for us. So this is one of the options that we will deselect from practice, because I've had zero, zero, zero impact from audience network. Joe has also had zero impact from audience network. It's just not interesting. it's only the other developers, the other media buyers that are looking at it. Okay, so it's not really useful unless you want to show all of your ads in the faces of all of your competitors. In other words, of fellow media buyers, right? So really good tip to remember. Remember the four main verticals that we've chosen. We've chosen them for a reason: Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and Messenger. Okay. Remember, keep Messenger in the back of your head. We also went through Google very quickly, but we will go through Google again in much more detail. So we went through the trends.google.com. Again, we'll go into the trends database later, but for the moment, just keep it in your rear view mirror. Okay, so we went through the two URLs that you have to remember there, and that's of course youtube.com, which I'm sure that you all know like the back of your hand. And we also touched on trends.google.com, which we will go through in future lessons. But remember, the one that you have to remember is facebook.com or fb.com if you want, /ads/library. Very, very important. So then before the next lesson, I want you to go through the competitor analysis. So choose one of those 8 avatars. There, Patrick said he would choose vets. So then Matthew, perhaps, maybe even something different there than chiropractors. Okay, or you can choose chiropractors if you want. Just don't choose the same ones. And be able to say what you liked about it. Remember, we're going to be going through the different components of the ad. We're going to be talking about creatives. We're going to be talking about copy. We're going to be talking about so many other things. We're going to practice some copywriting. Patrick will love this. Right, copywriting. They're using AI. And then we're going to practice even creative production. In other words, the image or the video that can be produced using AI. So that's what's coming next. So keep that in your mirrors as well. Okay. And as always, this has been me, Paul PG Mac, saying bye-bye to you all, and I will see you at Akila's next training session.